11 Emmerdale spoilers for next week, including Tom's electrocution, Cain's violent advice, and Laurel's suspicions. There's plenty going on in the village next week. Emmerdale spoilers for next week include Tom electrocuting himself after a violent rage, Cain giving Matty some prison advice, and Laurel growing suspicious of Jai and Eric. Here are 11 huge Emmerdale spoilers for next week. Belle faces reality. Belle confides in her mental health care coordinator, Rachel, about her recent lies to husband Tom. She admits she told him she had a miscarriage instead of an abortion. As Belle and Rachel's chat goes on, Belle fears Rachel has realised the extent of Tom's controlling behaviour. She becomes desperate for her to leave, but Rachel treasures Belle, prompting her to face the reality of Tom's abuse. Belle makes a big decision. Rachel encourages Belle to take a break from Tom, but Belle is terrified. She eventually agrees, and it looks like she could be set to leave Tom and his toxic abuse behind. Tom learns Belle's been lying. Noah informs Tom that Belle was in town for an appointment instead of walking Piper like she'd told him, and he is stunned to learn Belle has been lying to him. Tom learns Belle took a trip to the abortion clinic. Furious, he grabs an old rusty iron bar and proceeds to smash up the barn. Tom's rage has devastating consequences. His violent outburst comes to an end when he smashes the metal bar against the barn's rotary isolator behind him. He suffers an electrocution and is hurled against a beam. Will Tom survive? Will Belle leave? Belle decides to follow Rachel's advice and packs her case with plans to visit Debbie in Scotland. Unknown to her, Tom is lying unconscious in the barn after his violent outburst. Will Belle leave before someone finds Tom? Suni turns to Laurel for advice. After Nicky shares his hopes of moving abroad, Suni turns to Laurel for some advice about what to do. Laurel reminds him of how important it is to compromise in a relationship and says Jai would be devastated if Suni were to leave. With Suni so unsure about moving, will Nicky be able to convince him to leave the village? Laurel grows suspicious of Jai. Laurel notices a tense exchange between Jai and Eric, prompting her to grow suspicious of the pair. Eric later neglects to pay for his drinks and simply tells her to speak to Jai, and Laurel follows his order. She confronts Jai at Mulberry Cottage, but will he tell Laurel the truth? Matty's struggles in prison worsen when he is introduced to his new cellmate, Les. The newcomer continues to taunt Matty with unnerving quips in their shared cell, leaving him concerned for his safety. Cain pays Matty a visit in prison and is quick to try and shut down his concerns about Les. Matty admits his fears as he struggles to keep his emotions in check. Cain has some stern advice and urges him to use violence against anyone who may threaten him, but Matty isn't so keen on Cain's ideas. Dawn and baby Evan finally return to home farm. Dawn grows paranoid about the other children being around Evan, leaving Billy concerned about how overprotective she is being. Dawn seeks comfort in Rose, who has some wise words for her. A heartfelt conversation about Dawn's natural ability as a mum helps bring Rose closer to her daughter.